Welcome, Wanderers. I hope your journey is going well. I'm glad you stopped by because I want to tell you a bit about conservation, especially regarding the inhabitants of the Nightfall. As time goes on, it's easy to forget the stories and folklore that brought about our mysterious friends. And I believe the key to their continued and healthy existence is the retelling of their tales for new generations. The more we tell their stories and the more people know and believe in them, the more real they are. This also allows them to be able to venture more frequently from the Nightfall into your world. Now, we will be focusing on a very well-known and beloved friend of ours, the Mothman. Oh, and would you look at that, there he is. I will be talking about his origin and the first well-documented sightings of him. The incident that truly brought him into the public eye. Now, if you'll excuse me, I just need to get things set up here. I have some slides, some videos I want to show you, but where did I put that projector? I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Whew. Okay, ready? You ready? Good. Our story begins on a cold fall evening on November 15th, 1966, in the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. An unassuming town built at the meeting point of the Ohio and Kanawha rivers, well within the heart of Appalachia. For two young couples, this night would be unforgettable. Linda and Roger Scarberry were out on a late-night drive with their friends Mary and Steve Mallet to the secluded location dubbed the TNT area by Point Pleasant locals. The TNT area was the former West Virginia Ordnance Works, but now has become the McClintock Wildlife Management Area. Now, on this large wildlife preserve are the ruins of the Ordnance Works and the remains of a large power plant. The location where the two young couples would first encounter the Mothman. It was close to midnight as they drove up the road to the power plant. When the building came into view, their headlights shone on something moving in the woods. Steve was first to see it and point it out. They saw a creature not running, but wobbling as if trying to keep its balance as it rounded the corner of the power plant. All four described the creature as standing at 6 feet tall. Close enough. With a 10-foot wingspan. Well, checks out, I guess. No discernible head, and the most notable feature, the piercing, fiery red eyes. Fear quickly overtook them, and Roger swiftly sped the car out of the TNT area. As they turned onto Route 62 and drove past the first curve, they saw the Mothman again. This time, perched on a hill, watching them. As the headlights passed over him, he spread his wings and took off straight up into the air. As the group sped down the road at over 100 miles per hour, trying to escape Mothman, they saw that he was in pursuit and easily keeping pace with them. He flew alongside the car, behind it, and above it. At points, those in the car would hear its wings hitting the roof. The teens were terrified and yelling at Roger to go faster. Above the sound of the engine, the sound of the creature's enormous flapping wings could be heard. Now, when they got closer to Point Pleasant and its lights, the creature disappeared. The terrified teens assumed the creature had an aversion to light, but now in the relative safety of the town, they took some time to compose themselves and figure out their next steps. They decided contacting the police would be best. So, they went to the local drive-in to phone the police. Deputy Millard Halstead arrived at the scene to question the kids. Clearly skeptical, the deputy questioned the teens to see if they had been drinking that night. The teens insisted they had not been. Deputy Halstead knew the teens were not troublemakers and seemed genuinely terrified, so he decided to investigate. Now, they all headed back up the road. The teens were in front, leading the way, with the police about a half-mile behind them. On this drive back up to the power plant, they saw the Mothman again. The teens saw Mothman in a field alongside the road. He was walking towards the car, and then he flew at the car and passed it into a field on the other side of the road. That was the last time they saw him that night. They eventually made it back to the power plant with the police, but they didn't find anything. On the next day, Wednesday the 16th, the teens decided to go back to the power plant to investigate. They looked around the outside of the building, but found nothing. Then Roger and Steve decided to search the inside of the building while Linda and Mary continued to look outside. Suddenly, they all heard Steve yelling as he ran out of the power plant as pale as a ghost. Steve told his friends he had seen it in one of the boilers. These two nights had long-lasting effects on the teens and the town of Point Pleasant. Linda Scarberry claims to have seen the Mothman many times after that fateful night. It brought many people from all over, as they too wanted to see the Mothman. For our final thoughts on this tale, I want to leave you with a quote from Linda Scarberry. And she said, "It seems like it doesn't want to hurt you. It just wants to communicate." I hope you enjoyed the retelling of the events that first documented Mothman. Now, there are many more tales surrounding our lovely friend, and they are definitely worth a read. I also encourage you to write your own tales of our friend here. Let us expand his lore so that many more people can learn about him. Well, it looks like our time is up for tonight. The sun should be rising soon, and it's about time you venture out of the Nightfall and back into your own world. But don't you worry, I'll be here for the next time you visit, and I'll be sure to have some new friends and stories for you. Goodbye, Wanderer.